Everyone, and thank you so much for being with us here today. Madakyapi, Techilapi, Maniwi, Amachiapi. My name is Jillian Wan, and I am the Director of Marketing and Storytelling here at Sicangu. It is so lovely to see so many familiar names on the webinar right now. First, I'd just like to start off by sharing a little of why we do this work and why it exists in the first place. Here at Sicangu, of course, economic development isn't just about building revenue or building businesses, but what comes first for us is the responsibility that we have to our people, to our land, and to the generations who will be impacted by the decisions that we make today. So everything that we build through our work, whether it's regenerative agriculture, tribally owned enterprises, workforce development, or cultural revitalization, it's all a part of this much larger ecosystem, which if you're subscribed to our newsletters, you hear about it all the time. We are intentionally designing an economy that circulates dollars locally, builds ownership, strengthens families, and restores our sovereignty. This work is tribally led, it is community grounded, and it is guided by the 7-gen vision carried by our ancestors. For those of you who have been walking alongside us for many years, thank you so much for your continued trust, your partnership, and your friendship. And for those of you who are newer to this circle, we welcome you. Your presence here today really reflects a belief that Indigenous-led development is not only possible, but that it's necessary. So today you're going to hear a few stories of impact, and what we hope you feel is alignment. Alignment that this work is strategic, that it's sustainable, and that it's deeply rooted in our Lakota values. And of course, to begin, I'd like to introduce you to someone who has helped shape and steward this vision with clarity and a lot of courage. Our CEO, Clay Colomb, leads Sicangu Co. with a commitment to both operational excellence and cultural integrity that incorporates our Lakota values. And under his leadership, we have strengthened our business portfolio as well as our community development programming. And we have expanded our impact in really exciting ways. So please join me in welcoming Clay Colomb.
Thank you, Jillian, and thank you everybody for joining us. Very honored to have you here and also to be able to have our team present to you and what we've been doing. The growth of the organization, the economy of the reservation has been, one of the key focuses of one of my key focuses since I took over as the CEO. We've grown tremendously in terms of employees. One area which I'm most proud of is the investment in our back office, specifically our finance team. I think we've grown to 8 or 9 new positions in the last year, which has really helped us become, better stewards of the assets, especially the donations and the financial contributions that people like yourselves have given. So I'm very, very excited about that. Things have been moving along very well in that area. In the past year, we've also been able to do more for our tribe, for our community. We recently started giving a monthly dividend to the tribe, an amount of $42,000 a month, which has come in very handy, especially with the uncertainty that we've seen from the federal government in the last year or so. So, that's been amazing to do. Also, one of the last government shutdowns, feels like there's been a few of them. Our team has been able to step up and help the community with food distribution, most namely bison, when looked like SNAP benefits were going away and whatnot. So that's something I'm so proud of our team. Once the word came out that was coming down, our team stepped up immediately. How do we do this? What are we going to do? And that growth, and again, building the strength of this organization has allowed us to be in that position to do that. So again, just extremely proud of that. It's going to allow us to grow even further. I know we've recently got over 100 employees out here looking for a place to house everyone's kind of the next problem. I think that's a good problem to have. So yeah, a lot of exciting things continuing to go on here. One, trying to ensure that we're, all the projects that we are working on, we're doing to our best, but, looking what's the next area that we can, help the economy for our nation. We have a lot of great momentum going into 2026. Again, thank you to each and every one of you that has assisted us, financially or in other ways that you've done in the past. We appreciate all of it. And, with this momentum, hopefully we can, find new relationships, new allies to work with. But yeah, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody, especially my staff. And I will turn it over to my staff now to tell you exactly how this is all going so well.
Thank you so much, Clay, for that message. And as you all know, we're here today to really talk about the community development work that many of you have supported. So with that being said, I would like to pass it over to our development director of the Sicangu CDC, Michael Prate.
Thanks, Jillian. Haami Tokeyahci Chante Washte Nape Chuzapalo, Diana Hipolo, Mike Prate Amachiapi, na Sicangu CDC Itancha Macha. Welcome everybody. Greet all relatives and friends with a good heart. My name is Mike Prate. I'm the executive director for Sicangu CDC, which is the 501c3 community development arm of Sicangu Co. Keep it kind of brief because y'all have an amazing opportunity to hear from a lot of really talented, passionate people on the call today. The annual report that we'll link in or have sent out, goes into the details on work that we've done, but the stories that are coming from our team today really come from the heart. And I think that's one of the things I've loved about working here. I've been a part of this organization or ecosystem since 2015. And for those of you who have been with us for a while, the Sicangu CDC, the community development arm of Sicangu Co., is in its 7th year of life. We started in 2019 as an organization. And a teaching that I was given was there's a change every 7 years. There's a change that can happen in an individual or even within an organization, and I think that's true for Sicangu CDC. We've done a lot of good work over the last 7 years and really proved that we're serious about ground up sovereignty, ground up transformation. That when the Sicangu Wolakota is strong, the whole world benefits from this community being able to live as they want to live. And that's what I've seen time and time again. It's a reason that I've continued to be committed and really humble to living and being a part of this community and this movement, not just for Sicangu country, but for the world as a whole. I really believe that. So in this 7th year, I'm excited for the CDC. We've really seen a lot of growth, kind of investing in some of our own leadership and staff to be able to, not bootstrap 70-hour weeks to get the work done out of pure passion, but to really try and build our capacity to deliver on the ambitions that we have. And they're big. We want to be accountable to our community. We want to be able to meet the needs that our community has. And asks of us, and that means we have to keep investing in ourselves. So this last year has been a huge one of growth for us in terms of building out our team. And for this upcoming year, I think one of the kind of roots of the CDC was being out in community, talking with people and visiting with people, and just being in relationship with the people who are most benefiting and directing the work that we have going on. And with that, this upcoming year is going to be an opportunity for us to redig back into our long-term multi-generational strategy for thriving Sicangu Tokeyahci, a movement, a ground-up movement for sovereignty, lived sovereignty, not just on paper, but people actually being able to put that into action in their own lives and their families' lives and in their communities' lives. So I'm excited to kind of dive into that. Again, grateful for y'all being here. See a lot of familiar faces people have been supported by over the years. We really thank y'all for that, whether it's partners who have done work with us, or whether it's financial donations, or just spreading the word of the work that's happening. all of it goes a long way in supporting what we have going on. So that's me for today. Glad you get to hear from our amazing teammates, and thank you again for taking your time to be here with us.
All right, thank you, Mike. And I do see a few more people have joined. We're just getting started. So far, we heard from Clay Colomb, our CEO, and also our development director of the Sicangu CDC, Mike Prey. And I'm actually going to pass it right back over to Clay to give a quick update on our CDFI Tatanka funds.
Yeah, have some really good momentum going at Tatanka funds as well. We found new ways to leverage lending with them through the government SSBCI lending thing, Small State Business Credit Initiative, to give them some revenue, working now to help grow their staff and get them, certified finally with that, get them out of the emerging stage. So I think more really exciting news to come from Tatanka funds in the near future. Unfortunately, they weren't be able to make it today.
All right, thank you, Clay. And as some of you may know, we are part of this much larger ecosystem known as Sicangu Co., which also covers our for-profit entities. And I wanted to quickly highlight this part of our work as well. So every one of these businesses started under Sicangu Co., or also known as Red Co., our for-profit entities. Every one of those businesses are these businesses that I'm going to name. They exist because there was a clear need from the community. And the first that I'd like to start with is Sicangu Propane. I actually used to work there. They were my way into this amazing organization and the amazing work that I get to do now. So I have a really soft spot for Sicangu Propane. I loved working there. For years, our community really depended on outside providers for something as essential as heat, and energy access is obviously not a luxury on the reservation. So Sicangu Propane was created to ensure that there was reliable service, fair pricing, and local accountability. So today, the staff keeps homes warm. They circulate dollars locally, and they employ tribal members and provide them with stable and essential jobs. And the next one I wanted to quickly mention is Rosebud Office Solutions. This business was born out of a simple but really important gap. Our tribal programs, our schools, and enterprises were ordering office supplies from outside vendors, which was sending these dollars off reservation. And so Rosebud Office Solutions allows businesses and different institutions to procure what they need while keeping spending local. And it strengthens supply chains, it builds procurement capacity, and reinforces our goal of internal economic circulation. And then the last one I will quickly mention is Rosebud Facilities Management. As our portfolio began to grow at Sicangu Co., so did the need for reliable professional facilities to support things like maintenance, repairs, and operational oversight. So rather than outsourcing these services, we built internal capacity. Rosebud Facilities Management ensures that our buildings are safe, they're functional, and that they stay very well maintained while creating skilled employment pathways for our workforce. And what connects all of our businesses is that they were created to solve real problems within our community on the Rosebud Reservation. They actually represent very practical sovereignty by meeting essential needs through tribally owned infrastructure. They create jobs, they build skills, they keep capital circulating within our community, and they form the backbone that really allows our broader vision to come to life. And so with all that being said, while these for-profit entities strengthen our economic foundation, our nonprofit work allows us to invest directly into community programs, restoration, and long-term systems change. So with that being said, I'd now like to introduce our Director of Development, who leads the strategy and partnerships that make this mission-driven work possible. So please join me in welcoming Aaron Epps.
Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. I'm Aaron Epps, and I have been with Sicangu Co. since 2019. And so um, it's been incredible to see the growth in that time. So back in that summer, Sage, who you'll hear from later, and we didn't even have desks. We had just kind of sat at a little table in the back of the office. And at that point, the school was just an idea that Sage had, um, and Wolakota, which was another project that didn't even exist at that point, and to see how far things have come in that time has been truly incredible. And my time at Sicangu Co. has absolutely been life changing. But I also wanted to build off what Jillian said too, is um, because of sort of the way that Sicangu Co. started as more focused on economic development, that infrastructure, I guess, for lack of a better word, of having finance, HR, marketing already in existence allowed us to really build off of that foundation into the community development work. So a lot of the stories that you're going to hear the rest of the day that focus on the school, Wolakota, our food sovereignty initiative. What makes us so unique is that we have that economic foundation that Redco has built, and it allows us that when we get funding from our donors and from our partners, we're able to put that directly to use with the programs. So I think we have a really unique ecosystem here where each leg of the ecosystem builds on the other and makes them stronger. Um, so as I was alluding to, maybe you might have caught a hint of I don't know the right word, but nostalgia in my opening comment here. But my time with Sicangu Co. is coming to a close, and so I know I've worked with many folks on this call in the past, and so I'm thrilled actually today to be able to introduce my the person who will be coming in and filling in my role after me. And many of you have probably known him for a long time. So excited to introduce Matt Wilson. Matt is going to be the next development director. So the time has just come for me to pursue the next chapter of my life, and I'm very excited to be passing it off to such capable hands. And so I will do so right now and pass it off to Matt.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Hamada Kepi, Matt Wilson, Machapalo, Chante Westchen, Patriots Apolo. Well, first of all, thank you all for being here and continuing to support us here at Sicangu. I wanted to take this time to kind of zoom out for a little bit and talk about something that sits underneath kind of our ecosystem, which is our ability to, grow our own leadership. And so I'm going to start by kind of telling my story. I started off here as an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer. I just recently finished college and was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do next. I was living in Arizona at the time, and wanted to come back home and be a part of the work that the Food Sovereignty Initiative was doing. And so I did that. I came back and did my 1-year term with AmeriCorps. Came in to support the work and learn. One of my first things I did on the job, first day on the job, was planting corn seed. Fell in love with the work. So happy to be back in community again, back home. And over time, I moved on to actually leading the Food Sovereignty Initiative. That position and experience really stretched me. I learned how to manage programs, partnerships, and real accountability to our community. And then later, stepping into my current role, which I'll be transitioning out of, which is the deputy director for Sicangu CDC. I was able to get a more broader view of how things connect, really understanding deeply about our initiatives, operations, strategy, and then course development. And so I started seeing Sicangu as less of departments or initiatives, and I started seeing more as an actual living system. So as I step into this development director role, I think that perspective is really important, even more, because fundraising to me isn't just separate from the work. It's tied directly to program quality, to like the operations, the strength, and of course leadership. It's all of that. And so for me, Sicangu is is made and it's built to grow leaders from the ground up, from within. And so for you all as partners, I think that should really resonate or matter for you, because an organization like Sicangu shouldn't and cannot be dependent on just one person. It means leadership transitions like mine don't destabilize an organization. It means that people are raising resources. People who raise the resources understand the problems because they led them. They lived. They're a part of this community. They know what the community needs, and so that also makes us much more resilient. And so I also just want to say I'm not the only one who's been able to grow into a leader. There's many people who you'll hear from next that are also on a similar path as I am in terms of developing their own leadership. So as I step into this role, I will be carrying that fundraising spirit still, but I'm also going to be carrying the understanding of how our ecosystem works, and a commitment to sustaining it well. So I'm grateful that you're all here. I'm thankful for your support. And with that, I will pass back to Jillian. Thank you.
Matt, thank you so much. And I just want to say it's been beautiful to watch your journey and see how far you've come, and also just appreciate the working with you and the friendship. And then also it's just very sad to see Aaron leaving us. I don't know what we will do without him, but I guess we have to find our way. But I want to introduce you to an incredible individual who I know you're just going to love hearing from. He is our Wolakota Bison Range Coordinator. So please join me in welcoming Craig Valandra.
Hello, everyone. My name is Craig Valandra. It's good to see everyone here. One thing I want to convey to everyone is we've got an amazing team. We've got great people working for Sicangu Co. I'm sad to see Aaron going. I'm glad to see Matt moving up. One of the things that I want to discuss today is finding my purpose at Wolakota. I came on board to Sicangu Co in 2024 at the beginning of the year, and I've worked my way up through the company by various jobs. I found my purpose here at Wolakota simply because of prayer and a spiritual path that I'm on. There was a lot of work that needed to be done out here at Wolakota, and I had come on and undertook a lot of a responsibility. I don't see Wolakota as a job. I see Wolakota as a duty, a responsibility, and an obligation to restoring our Tokeyahci. The stories go and the belief goes that when Tokeyahci is well and thriving, so are the Lakota. I'm a firm believer in that, and our Wolakota Bison Range is currently thriving. We've been able to step up and assist our community when presidential administration cut SNAP benefits to our area. We were able to step up and distribute over 20 tons of bison to our community members. That's an amazing feeling. That's an amazing feeling to have been part of, to undertake. Wolakota is a beautiful place. I'm very blessed to be here. It's very meaningful to me on so many levels to be here. And I'm blessed as I should be. I'm very thankful to be here. I do have an amazing story to tell. However, 5 minutes isn't enough. Oh dear, I'm kind of choked up right there. I'm I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys for inviting me to your Zoom meeting.
Thank you, Craig. Do you feel like there's anything more that you wanted to say? You do have a couple more minutes, so.
If there were questions, I would love to answer questions. If there were
Awesome.
questions.
We will have a Q&A at the end, so I'm sure people will have some
Okay,
questions.
that would be great. That would be great.
Okay, yes.
Questions. I'm all for questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Craig. Yeah,
You're welcome.
we can honestly listen to Craig all day, so I can only imagine that it was difficult for him to fit everything into 5 minutes, because honestly, an hour feels like 5 minutes, or yeah, whenever we're talking to Craig. So, but we'll go ahead and I want to introduce you to another amazing individual. They've been fortunate to just see his growth as well throughout his work at Sicangu. And again, we've talked a lot about this ecosystem, and I think another great example of this is the work that we see between Wolakota, the Bison Range, as well as Wakanyeja Tokeyahci, which is our Lakota immersion school. And the partnership that they have is truly amazing. You can read more about that through our newsletters, through our social media, because there is just so much to talk about in that. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Sage Fastog, who is the head of school for Wakanyeja Tokeyahci.
Oh, gosh, Pilamaya. Everybody hear me? Thumbs up, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Omitake pichante weste na pe choose papalo. Pejijota shukaluza machapi. Sicangu kowashi chamo chae. Wichashi ikchehemielo nam. Matunishni. Cha daku ichunki na he. Ihani dua chim chate daku oyati kina chim kina he. Cha daku imachu. You know, my name is Sage Fastog. You know, it's just a kid that grew up in an area about 15 miles from where I'm currently working. Never thought I'd be in education. Actually, just grew up thought I was gonna be a mechanic. Actually, was gonna go to college to be a mechanic, or otherwise just be a person that make a side hustle for fixing cars. You know, that was a good way to make money right there. You know, and that's all I wanted to do. And then, person got into education and decided, well, maybe I could teach teaching people how to open cans, the commod cans, to teaching them how to cook some pancakes, to maybe teaching them how to do some algebra in high school, to get into doing my time in public school system for 13 years, teaching there, trying to teach people how to indigenize. And then finally, it's like, my dream is to sustain our language. So moving over to Wakanyeja Tokeyahci. 7 years ago, Aaron, 7 years ago, we were sitting in the back and folding table and a folding chair. And when Aaron left, I inherited his desk. His desk kind of folded up so you can stand up and do work. I thought that was pretty innovative there. Kind of kept you standing there, moving around. So I remember I got to take that thing there. And then I inherited a really heavy desk, right? Real tonka principal desk that I think I left at the last office we were in, though. So we kind of moved around a bit where we went. But that's to tell you that if you wherever you're in, whatever you're doing, you have to persevere. You have to move forward, and you have to live through those experiences to really walk away with understanding of how to do it. And then you could turn on in Kala, you can turn on and be a teacher and teach that. So what are the highlights of Wakanyeja Tokeyahci? One of the highlights is that we do a teacher apprentice program. The teacher apprentice program we started about 3 years ago because we wanted to be able to take care of our own. And to take care of everyone meant that we had to actually do it. So we went ahead and just did it. We went and started our teacher apprentice program 3 years ago. Out of 3 of them, 2 of them finished. And what we wanted was we wanted to have them be local and learn from us. And then when they did, this year, both of them took their own classroom. So we got a kindergarten teacher and we got a first grade teacher. And both of them are doing amazing. So this year I get to just follow up with them and we get to reflect on their journey through it. And my hope was that the teacher would be here, so you guys don't have to hear me telling you that. They would be here to tell you. But since she's not, she's busy doing work, then I'm here to just kind of brag about her. So you have to believe me. Hey. So what we also did is we went ahead and rolled for a federal grant to see if they would believe in what we're doing. And so we did win a Esther Martinez grant to continue our teacher apprentice program. So I just hired a program manager to go ahead and take this from me and then so we can begin to sustain that part of Wakanyeja Tokeyahci, so we can be sovereign. Every day when I hang up that Wakanyeja Tokeyahci flag, I get like a lump in my throat and say, we're doing it. And then I walk in here and I walk in to see what we're able to do whenever people believe in what we're able to do, to be able to show. Sometimes people get 1,000 or 100 years to try to prove they know what education, but right now we're proving it. This is our 6th year open. So we have a K-5 elementary. We have 48 kids. Another highlight I wanted to share with you is this year in our Lakota Nation Invitational tournament that we go to 3 years now. We're 3 years back-to-back champs in our Lakota language division. We're both champs in the K2 division and the 3-5 division. Back-to-back champs. They've been doing it. And then we also champed out in the hand game tournament last year. It really brings families together. That's why we invest in the tournament, because it brings the whole entire nation together. I know I got about 13 minutes, but I'm trying to talk as fast as I can, or 13 seconds. So anyway, through the support, we're able to create our own program instead of being told how to program. So we're very appreciative of that. I really like to talk about the hard work that the parents have put in and the staff here. The more they put in, the better it becomes. The more I can step back and facilitate and help and coach, the better it becomes too. So I'm really proud of and the support that we've gained throughout these years. And Wolakota, Craig, thank you for helping us with that harvest last week. We got fresh buffalo. The kids are very happy. The kids are all fired up that this week they were going to get buffalo meat. So, or last week and then this week, and then until we run out of buffalo meat again. So appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sage. And again, it's, we talk a lot about our big visions, the 7-gen vision, and it has been amazing to see that vision already come to life and see the impact that the school that Sage has created, the impact that it's had on the students there over the last 5 years, and the impact that it's had on the families as well, and even our community. Just people watching, knowing that school is there, it inspires them. It also encourages them to learn the language. And then Wakanyeja Tokeyahci, Sage and his team, as well as some elders in the community, they also host a Lakota language class on the weekends once a month. And it's been amazing to see how that's also impacted the community as well. So I will also, we have one more individual who also has a really strong story to share. She currently works in our food sovereignty initiative. She has worked closely with Matt as well. So I would like to introduce you to the program manager for the food sovereignty initiative, Echo Clairmont.
Hello, everybody. Midaki Api, my name is Echo Clairmont. I am currently the local foods coordinator here at the Food Sovereignty Initiative program. This April marks 4 years of me being a part of this team. Food carries memory, it carries culture, it carries identity. And for many of our families, that relationship was disrupted over generations. Our traditional food systems were replaced by federal commodities, knowledge was interrupted, connection to land shifted. Food sovereignty is how we begin restoring that. Through the Sicangu Food Sovereignty Initiative, we are rebuilding systems rooted in Lakota values, systems where food is medicine, where buffalo are our relatives, and where community care guides our response. One of the most powerful parts of our work is buffalo distribution. From the outside, it might look like food access, families receiving meat, our freezers just getting filled. But buffalo is not just protein. It's history, it's survival, and it's identity. The near eradication of the buffalo was meant to dismantle our way of life. So every time we distribute buffalo into our communities, we are participating in restoration. We are bringing something sacred back into homes where it belongs. This past November, that work became urgent. During the federal government shutdown and temporary SNAP benefit cuts, many families across our reservation experienced sudden reductions in food assistance. We recognized immediately that we had a responsibility to act. Throughout November, we mobilized weekly distributions across all 20 communities. We distributed over 12,000 pounds of buffalo meat and 6,300 pounds of fresh produce, reaching more than 1,200 relatives. But what made November powerful wasn't just the volume. It was the reminder that we are capable. When external systems faltered, our eternal ecosystem responded. Our teams loaded and delivered box after box, 50 to 65 pounds at a time, because our relatives needed us. That is sovereignty in motion. I have watched elders receive buffalo with tears in their eyes. I have heard parents tell their children, "This is what your ancestors ate." I have seen young people taste buffalo for their first time and stand a little taller, realizing their food is something imported. It is not something imported, it is something inherited. We are not just distributing food, we are changing how people see food. Food is medicine. Beyond distribution, we are investing in young growers, future land stewards, and leaders who understand that indigenous food systems are not relics of the past. They are living systems, adaptable, resilient, and strong. The bigger meaning of this work is generational. We are working so the next generation does not inherit disconnection, so they grow up knowing what their traditional foods are. They see sovereignty not as an abstract concept, but as something tangible, something they can grow, harvest, prepare, and share. When you change the way a community sees food, you change health. We can measure pounds distributed and families served, but the deeper impact is something you can feel. November reminded us how fragile external systems can be, but it also reminded us how strong we are. We are building something that does not collapse when policy shifts. We are building something rooted in land, culture, and community. We are building something our grandchildren will inherit. And this is what inspires me, because this work is not just about responding to crisis. It's about restoring abundance. It's about ensuring that our children grow up knowing the taste of buffalo, the value of fresh food, and the power of feeding their own people. We are not rebuilding what was lost. We are rising into what has always been ours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Echo, and thank you for all the work that was put in during especially the winter time. And I know you all are constantly planning and preparing for certain seasons. You guys are always hard at work. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I know time goes by so fast, 1 hour goes by so quickly, but we wanted to ensure that we left ample time for Q&A. So this is your chance. If you have any questions for anyone that you see here today, this is your moment to ask any questions. If you need someone to elaborate on anything, this is the time to do that. If you have questions, you can also just, I believe there's a area here on Zoom where you can raise your hand. Does this allow that, Aaron? Or do they have to ask in the chat?
No, I think everyone should be able to even unmute themselves if they have a question.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Tom Rath. I work with the Indian Fund, and I have a question for Craig. Can you update us on the herd and how I think you've been started like what 3 or 4 years ago? I can't remember. And are you harvesting beyond culling the herd, or where are you in terms of the grow out?
Let's see, our Our herd size right now is 1,368. We are a little over capacity at the moment. Um, we've harvested 140 bulls. That went to the Food Sovereignty Initiative. Um, our herd is doing really well, actually. Our herd in the past 18 months, we've GPS tagged them, a majority of them, a little over 1,000 of them. We've got our liver samples back from 100 bulls. Everything on them liver samples is good in accordance to Healthwise of Buffalo. What else would you like to know about our buffalo?
Sorry, I muted myself. That's great. It's fantastic to hear how well everything's going. And I don't have anything else unless you want to add to that.
Yeah, I'm all for questions. If anybody's got questions, I'd love to answer some questions. There's a lot going on out here. In the past 18 months, there's been remarkable things done with Wolakota, Makochie. It's progress. It's progress in a positive way. It's sustaining progress, and we're going to be able to continue on to step up and meet whatever needs or whatever is required by our community, by our Oyate.
Craig, I hate to put you on the spot, but I know when we got to catch up, you shared a really powerful story, and I'm wondering if you can share a little bit about that of when you came across a video of Wheezy and kind of where things were 5 years ago versus what you're seeing out there now, 5 years
Uh,
after the first buffalo hit the ground.
so I had been on site for 1 year, and one morning I woke up and I was flipping through YouTube, and I came across a video on Wolakota, and it was Wheezy, and it was like a 15-minute video. And prior to me stepping foot on Wolakota, being hired on, I had no idea of its existence or what it took, all the people that it took to make it possible. I had no idea about it. I was here and I was doing the work, and I came across Wheezy's video, and everything that he stated in his video, it actually made me cry. It teared me up because it made my Chante feel good, because that's the exact path that Wolakota is on 5 years later. 5 years after Wheezy's initial interview on Wolakota, I had been putting in the work for a year, and it just made me feel really good that everything he stated in his interview, that's the exact same path that we were on, and really made my heart feel good. We're going to continue to grow in that manner, in that fashion, in a good way. We're going to continue to do what we've been doing, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. Wolakota is I don't view it as a job. I really don't. This journey that I'm on, this path that I'm on, this walk that I'm on, uh, it's very meaningful. It's purposeful. Wolakota, as my life was already going for a change in the more traditional spiritual direction, and I changed my life. And one morning I woke up and I heard something, and my life changed. And all I do is I just walk. I walk, and it's a good path that I'm on. It's a good journey. It's very strong. It's very meaningful. I'm able to be in a position to directly help my Oyate, and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. Over a year ago, we were doing this 100 bull harvest, and we were in partnership with Sacred Storm Processors, and I would go to the office. I would travel to the office, leave from the ranch, and I would hit the first community, St. Francis, the next community, Rosebud, and then I'd hit Mission, and it would I would get a sense and get this feeling like I'm doing stuff, I'm doing work right now that is going to directly impact my people, and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. They don't even have any idea. And it's a really powerful feeling, it overcomes you, and it really helps you to stay humble. Helps you to stay humble. And that time came. That time came when that 100 bull harvest, it paid off. And that buffalo was distributed to our Oyate here in Sicangu territory, and it really, if you know about sovereignty, if you read about sovereignty, food sovereignty, that's a really big thing to be able to step up and say, hey, we're able to take care of our people. We're able to provide for our people when things get cut off, when supplemental nutrition, that got cut off, and we were able to step up, and it helps keep a person very humble in our duties, our responsibilities, and our obligations out here on Mokochie. Yeah, I hope that answers that.
Thank you, Craig. Sage, there's 3 questions in the chat for you. I'll go ahead and read them off. One is, can you share the story of how you named the school and what the name means? Second question is, what grades are the students in? And also, where do you want to go next?
Those are good questions. Well, first one I'm gonna say is we're not gonna stop anywhere. We're gonna keep going until education stops trying to tell us how to do education until they actually can do education right for Native Americans. So we're currently go to K-5, but I'm currently in the process of working with our board here to let us do a middle school and just keep going. It's been trained and educated on how school designs work, and so we want to make sure our kids are, when they go to a public school system, that there's a second language acquisition in place for our children. And if there's not, then we'll just go ahead and take care of it on our own. That's the mindset I have, and it's just convincing others in our community to do the same thing, so that we don't stop what we're doing, that we continue to move on. We're not limited by money, and we're inspired by doing it to get it done, because that's really what got us through to be who we are today. Where Sicangu comes from, the word Sicangu comes from, that was the grandmothers had laid down themselves, literally laid down in a prairie fire so that the people could go across this prairie fire. And they did that so that people could live, so the children could live. And that's the people we come from. So in moving forward, I always try to think in that mindset so that I don't get stuck in thinking with what we don't have. I think about how we're going to get there, just like the grandmothers in the past. When I think of who we are and what we do, and I think of Wakanyeja Tokeyahci, it means to always think of our children first, no matter what we do. And the best thing I can think of in the Western education system that they've done right is student-centered learning. If you're a teacher and your students can embody what you think they're doing, they should be demonstrating that. Because if they're not demonstrating it, then you're not teaching. You're just randomly saying stuff and you're expecting them to regurgitate facts. But teaching should be something that they can do and turn around and do in life. Just like the Cherokee Nation, when they began to transform their economy, their newspapers, they changed it all in the Cherokee language, and they adopted it. But their graduation ceremonies took a week to 2 weeks to even get through the graduation ceremony, because the education had to prove that the children were going to be successful in life. And that's what Wakanyeja Tokeyahci is about. It's about thinking about our children first and being in that mindset. So, yeah, that's Wakanyeja Tokeyahci. That's what I can say, student-centered learning. put the work in, and let the kids thrive in it. They just want us to step back and stop telling them what to do, right? Just like us.
John Fetzer, thank you for that question. John Austin as well, thank you. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to come off mute if you'd like.
I thought there was a part two to the question for Craig too. Craig, I don't know if you wanted to mention that, but you mentioned that prayer brought you to this work. How has Wolakota answered that prayer?
Wolakota. Wolakota answers prayers. Let's see. I didn't grow up traditional. I didn't grow up with the Lakota way of life. That's something that I came across and got into on my own. I was brought up in a Catholic church. But my spirituality, my walk, is very important to me. And I stay in prayer. I stay in prayer. It's very humbling to share this side of the questioning of why I'm here. Wolakota, what this place means to me, it's like I keep saying, it's more than a job. It's a lifestyle. It'll change you. There's a lot that's done in prayer out here. I mean, simply smudging every morning, going out the door. Prayer is a big part of our harvest. I'll share something with you guys that this last harvest that we done last week, Sacred Storm came again, and we were out in the field, and I asked one of the Sacred Storm guys. I said, "So is this the same harvest everywhere you guys go?" And the guy looked at me and he shook his head and he said, "No." He said, "You guys," he said, "out of all the places that we go," he said, "you guys are the only ones that pray with them. You guys are the only ones that pray before, that pray with them, and that pray after them." So I mean, there's a lot of prayer that goes on here. There's a lot of respect afforded to Tokeyahci. These are our relatives, and I feel strongly about that in my heart. It's yeah, it's a way of life. I mean, there's continued inipis. We're constructing an inipi here on site. Wolakota is yeah, this whole thing out here it's a way of life. I'm here Monday through Sunday doing what needs to be done for Tokeyahci, and there isn't too much time for anything else in my life. Grocery shopping, an EP, doctor's appointments, and Makochie. That's all it is. And Makochie, that's my life.
Thanks, Craig. Echo, I'd love to hear more. I know we just got a couple minutes left, but with the work that you do with the Food Sovereignty Initiative, being that you have children of your own, how has that impacted your family, knowing that there's our indigenous food system is slowly coming back?
Yeah, so my I have a similar story to Craig. I am this work led me to really finding out who I am, and walking a good path on this on earth. So with my kids, we never really like knew anything about gardening or anything like that. But now today we have our very own backyard garden. It's been going for 2 years now. My kids love it. They love everything from planting the seeds to harvesting. We let them be a part of everything about it. Um, It's really grateful. I'm really grateful for my team. They also allow public and whoever to go to our work garden and be a part of that as well. So my kids also got to be a part of that, being at the work and being able to help um, whatever it is they needed help up there. And just for context, my our youngest son is 2 and my oldest daughter is 7. So they're young, and they already love it.
Right. Well, thank you, Echo. And wow, an hour has already gotten here. I want to say thank you to everyone who shared their stories. I also want to say thank you so much for all of you who decided to spend your Tuesday afternoon with us and opened your heart to hearing these impactful stories. The work you heard about today is possible because of aligned relationships, and of course, we do not take that lightly. We really appreciate these partnerships and friendships, relationships that we've made over the years, especially from those just supporting the work. If you'd like to stay connected and continue learning about our progress, or if you're looking for different opportunities to engage, you can subscribe to our newsletter, which I believe that's also in the chat somewhere, but it is sicangu.co/news. You can subscribe there. If you feel called to support this work directly, you can make a donation at sicangu.co/wodakuye. And if you have questions or you would like to follow up personally, you can reach out to wodakuye@sicangu.co. This is actually all up on your screen right now, so you can take a photo of those if you'd like. Thank you again for standing in relationship with us. We look forward to continuing this work together and hopefully seeing you all again soon. If you're ever in the area near Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota, please let us know. We'd love to say hi, have coffee, take you around, maybe take you to go see Craig out at Wolakota. But just know that, we're always here and we'd love to continue our relationship with you. So we appreciate you so much. Doksha Ake. We'll see you all.